So here's our judge taking centre stage, Per Iverson. Passed to award CCs in 14 breeds in the Gundog Group, but also has hounds, terriers, working, toy and utility dogs.
And leading in our Gundog Group this evening, please give a warm round of applause to our best of breed Bracco Italiano. Followed by the Brittany.
So here come the dogs. Great variety in the Gundog Group, but of course all dogs designed to be the shooter's right hand in the field.
The German long-haired pointer, one of the more rare breeds in the group.
And the German Wirehaired pointer.
See lots of athleticism in this group.
Next into the ring we have the Gordon setter.
Of course divided into 4 basic families, so there's one of the setters. The Vizsla is very much the hunter-pointer retriever's dog, a good all-rounder.
And here's the wire-haired variety of the Hungarian Vizsla.
Now we have the Irish red and white
First
setter.
of our setters coming in here, the Irish red and white setter, unfortunately on the vulnerable breeds list now.
And the more numerous cousin, the Irish setter, slashing tail.
Into the ring now, our best of breed Italian Spinone.
Such a lovely breed, this, one of my favourites in the group.
And now our Lagotto Romagnolo.
And another, oh yes, from Italy, the Lagotto Romagnolo.
Smart little person.
And here's the large Munsterlander, another German breed.
Best of breed pointer.
A black and white tonight, the pointer. The substantial Chesapeake Bay retriever, a lot of bone and substance and a special coat.
And there's another special jacket, this time a curly coat.
Followed by the flat-coated retriever.
And this is one of Per Iverson's favourites, the flat coat.
And the golden retriever.
So our judge very much an aficionado of that breed.
And from a huge entry today, the golden retriever has come from the breed judging.
Scotia duck-tolling retriever.
And if you're wondering where the Labrador retriever is at the moment, we're missing that best of breed winner, but maybe it might catch us up later. Here's the first of the Spaniels.
The free-striding American cocker.
The heaviest of the Spaniels here, the Clumber, heading into the ring.
And our best of breed Cocker Spaniel.
A blue-roan Cocker Spaniel is best of breed today from 2 judges for the
Next
breed.
up we have our English Springer Spaniel. And they're followed by our Field Spaniel.
The dignified stride of the Field Spaniel and a black. Often
Now
we
have
see
our
more
best of breed
livers
Irish
winning.
Water Spaniel.
That distinctive coat of the Irish Water Spaniel.
And our Sussex Spaniel.
Ah, if you were watching last night, here was a winner from last night. It won the Native Vulnerable Breeds competition, this Sussex Spaniel.
Now we have our Welsh Springer Spaniel.
You think, Frank, you may have put this one through today?
I did indeed. Brother and sister
Our Spanish
winning.
Water Dog is next into the ring.
One of the newer additions to the group there, Spanish Water
Then
Dog.
we have our Weimaraner.
The grey ghost
And
dog.
representing the imported breed register this evening is the Korthals Griffon.
And a relative newcomer to the Gundog rings in the United
And
Kingdom,
now
the
I'll hand you
Korthals
over
Griffon.
to our other commentators, Graham Hill and Kim Sillett-O'Beal, to take you through the group judging this evening.
Thank you, Jenny. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me enormous pleasure.
So here's our judge marching to the top end of his line to have a good look at the best of breeds that have been sent through to him from the breed rings by all the different breed judges.
It's the biggest of the groups, which is why the Gundogs get their own day, and there were 4,400 dogs here.
And just taking in the outlines, Per hugely experienced as a Gundog judge, very keen on the retrievers and the spaniels, and famous worldwide, lives in Norway.
40 years of judging experience, so experienced man.
such as the HPR.
And quite a few dogs from overseas here have won Best of Breed this evening.
The pointers, the setters, and of course the spaniels. Within each breed,
And down to the end of the line with our Korthal representing the imported register.
shapes, sizes, and heights. They come with a variety of working requirements and skills. And the first of the dogs for Mr. Ellison to go over is the Bracco Italiano.
So here's the first of our Best of Breed winners, the glorious Bracco Italiano. I love this breed. Probably created from Egyptian hounds and Persian mastiffs, and that distinct orange and white colour may have come from pointers from the Piedmont region of France. They also come in a darker chestnut. The Bracco's an all-rounder, able to scent gain, point, flush and retrieve it after it's been shot. That head, very characteristic.
It was believed to have been the result of breeding the Scotia Italiano, who is a coursing bloodhound, and the Asiatic
Now, this one has been judged by an Italian, Dr. Ivaldi, a Gundog man, and he breeds Gordon setters with his wife. So he has great knowledge of the Italian breeds, and this is his choice today.
This dog should be powerful and untiring on the move.
He's equally happy in the water.
Long and narrow in the head, deep, slightly arched foreface. Really enjoying his time in the ring this evening.
Italiano by 489.
And next we see the Brittany. Brittany's today in charge of Maxine Coombs for an entry of 36. Maxine sent forward this dog number 5547.
And here is the Brittany, a French breed, once known as the Brittany Spaniel, but then it was more versatile than the Spaniel, which are just used to flush and retrieve. This can do all of the work required of a gun dog. It's thought that he had pointer and setter blood in him.
Orange and white dogs, hunting and retrieving game, which is their original function in the
Now the square outline of this breed, cobby build and that sloping back line are very distinctive.
mid-19th century. It's been suggested
And it's a breed that can be born with a natural bobtail.
to give us the breed.
It should move with a brisk, short stride, maintaining that slight soap in the top line.
Hugely popular in his native France, not only as a gun dog, but as a family companion.
Standard being drawn up in 1907 and refined again in 1908.
This one, Noah, has come from Berkshire.
Here we see our best of breed, Brittany.
Intelligent, energetic little gun dogs, these.
And the next dog we'll see will be the English setter. This best of breed winner, number 5625.
The Brittany.
Was chosen today by Carol Guy from an entry of 163.
Here we have the first of our setters, established as a breed in the 1820s. This is the English setter. They're believed to have Gordons, Irish red and white, and the now extinct Welsh setters in their lineage. Judge should be looking for a clean outline, elegant appearance and movement, with the head carried high.
And some believe that this is the foundation of the English setter of today. The first
One of the most glamorous of the gun dog breeds. This one is an orange Belton, which has this coloured ticking in the coat. This one an orange Belton. They also come in blue, which is a black tick in the coat, or liver, and they can be tricolour also. But they're the most attractive of breeds, and we see the gently wagging tail, a feature of setter temperament.
This one called Jojo, a 5-year-old dog. He was top UK winning English setter in 2018. It should be free and graceful on the move, suggesting endurance. This is a dog that should be able to go all day in the field.
Indeed, very much the bird dogs. The word setter comes from the type of work they did. When they found a bird, they would set stock still to show the guns where they were before flushing.
Jill Court had the privilege of judging the German Longhaired twice.
Striding out to join the line, beautiful head and expression.
She selected the dog number 5723 as her best of breed.
Now here is one of the rarer breeds. It's the German long-haired pointer. It's the largest of the 3 German pointing breeds. It excels in field trials. It's a real worker, very versatile, huge stamina. Originally used to work with falconers,
The German Longhaired Pointer was crossed with setters.
and usually in a liver colour. This one a solid liver.
The breeds are renowned for their steady and very friendly temperament. Actually, it's their
Judge here is looking for an aristocratic head. Muzzle and skull should be of equal length, and the body length should be moderate, muscular, and that neck should be slightly arched.
makes the LP, as they're known, superb sportsmen, especially in
Very tidy looking German long-haired pointer, this one. Nice, what we call reach and drive, good extension of those front legs forwards, driving from behind.
This one here from Belgium. This is Ben, 4.5-year-old dog.
And one of the nicest I've seen shown in this country.
Sleek, close-lying coat. You don't want too much profuse coat.
The lovely German long-haired pointer.
The next dog for Per Everson to judge is the German Shorthaired Pointer. And with an entry of 86, we saw Dr. Ron James preside over the breed today.
Now, with a keen nose and a staunch sense of discipline and obedience and a noble, steady disposition, the German short-haired pointer was absolutely ideal as an all-round hunting companion and a house dog back in the mid-1800s. Became very popular then.
World of field and show competition with the German short-haired pointer. The GSP, as it is known, was the first HPL breed to arrive here in the UK.
Here we have an 8-month-old, which really is astonishing in the Gundog Group. That's very young. This is Jenga, and her first championship show was only Boston last year. So really taking this in her stride for such a young dog.
A beautiful shape. The German short-haired pointer is the all-round gun dog. Absolutely no-nonsense gun dog. Ordinary conformation to give it good limbs, good shoulder angulation. A harsh coat to give it protection when working. They love a job to do, the German short-haired pointer. This one is remarkably young to take a Best of Breed award at Crufts, as
Incredible.
you say.
Really smooth, lithe gait.
Stamina required in the field.
Short, flat coat, which should feel coarse to the touch.
5788.
The German short-haired pointer.
the third of the German pointing varieties is the German Wirehaired Pointer. Once again, Dr. Ron James, who judged an entry.
And here's the sturdier cousin. It's the German Wirehaired pointer, close relation, but it's a little heavier than the German short-haired pointer we've seen. And of course, the big difference is in its wire coat. It's thought that it was bred from German wire-haired pointing breeds, such as the French Griffon.
This one from the famous Bar Eve kennel. It's a bitch, 5.5 years old, owned by Sharon Pinkerton from Goxhill in Lincolnshire.
Very versatile hunters, German wire-haired pointers. Comfortable in fields, woodlands, any sort of terrain. Powerful dogs, happy to go wild fowling or rough shooting.
This is the dog's 5th consecutive best of breed here at Crufts.
That's
Pretty impressive.
Remarkable. And you can see the difference between maturity and the young German short-haired pointer we've seen. This one is full maturity, the depth of body and chest for heart and heart room and stamina. Carrying himself well.
Now we turn our attention to the second of our setters in the group this evening. There were 173 Golden Setter entries here today for breed judge Bonnie Scoogle to consider. She sent through to the group this male number.
Here we have the heaviest of our setters, the second setter in the group, the Gordon setter. These are named after the Duke of Gordon, who introduced the breed in Scotland in 1820. Now we see black and tan, but they were once black and white or black, white and tan, as that white marking made them easier to pick out in the field.
The Golden Setter was originally known as the Black and Tan Setter.
And it's very important that we don't have too much coat with this breed. They need to be heavily coated, always in this lovely black and tan colour, but you don't want so much coat that it interferes with the dog's work.
Again, fit for function is the name of the game. The Duke of Gordon developed this breed because the terrain in his estate in Scotland, rough terrain, he wanted something a little sturdier than the other setters, and this, the heaviest, heavy bone, Big ribs and a lot of substance.
So stylish on the move, aren't they?
This is Freddie, a 7-year-old dog, so actually a veteran, going really well today.
Gordon Setter, 5840.
Jackie Ward was the Hungarian Vizsla judge today, and she had an entry of 161.
They're lighter in frame than the German Hunter Pointer Retrievers. This is the Hungarian Vizsla, was probably used as a falconer's dog originally, as far back as the 14th century, able to be swift on the moors and to hold a point until the falcon's released.
This should be an elegant, moderately boned dog with noble head and carriage.
Weatherproof coat of that extraordinary colour, which is very much a characteristic of the breed.
And the coat is greasy to the touch. It gives it a weatherproofing quality. There's a sort of gaunt nobility about the head of the Hungarian Vizsla. Only moderately boned. There's a lightness and elegance, but also the substance for the heart and lung room for a working gun dog. This one going very nicely tonight.
Should have a lively ground-covering trot. This one, 5-year-old bitch called Lana.
Lean and noble on the move, that nice high head carriage. Keen hunters with considerable stamina.
Long reaching stride to give it economical action, covering maximum of ground with minimum of effort. And there is the Hungarian Wirehaired Vizsla, a cousin of the Vizsla and thought to be the result of crossing with German Wirehaired Pointer blood. It's said that the breed started when 2 puppies were found in a pet shop and a Czech breeder took them on and developed the breed from them. That's in 1904.
Should be slightly bigger and stronger than the smooth Vizsla we just saw. This is a hunt, point and retrieve breed, and it should have a distinguished appearance.
See the judge just checking the coat texture there. It should be harsh on top with a softer undercoat. More heavily boned, a bit more substance than the gaunt Vizsla we saw before. You see the influence of the German Wirehaired Pointer in him, in that strength of skull and bone.
Stronger all through than the Vizsla, just like the German Wirehaired Pointer is a slightly stronger version of the German Shorthaired Pointer. Same too for the Vizslas.
Gentle-mannered, affectionate, loyal and caring, well described the Hungarian Wirehaired.
Listening to every command from the handler, that's a beautiful, beautiful expression.
Moving out beautifully, that Hungarian Wirehaired
Sent
Vizsla.
forward by a Hungarian judge today, so that's a compliment.
Here we have another of our setters. This, the original, the Irish red and white setter. They were used in the field and would set when the birds were caught using nets instead of guns. They were once preferred in the field to the Irish setter because the white patches made them easier to see.
Now this, amazingly, is a vulnerable breed. Only 39 of them registered last year at the Kennel Club, and that's amazing because we see the popularity of the red setter. This is a close cousin. They were the original Irish setter before the popularity of the reds took over. They're a bit sturdier, not quite as racy, a bit more substance to them, but a lovely breed.
The movement should be long, free-striding and effortless with real drive from behind.
And the white background coat with red islands of colour in the body. The Irish red and white setter.
This one, a 3.5-year-old bitch called Ruby.
Following on from the red and white is the last of the setters, the Irish setter. From an entry of 294 dogs, there were 2 breed judges today. Brian Nicholas, Judge the Mayor.
Oh, the elegant lines of the Irish setter. This is the last and the most popular of our setters. That racy lines, the red coat, deep chestnut red. They're such glamorous looking dogs, but workers through and through with that beautiful neck and the long head, the expression superb.
Red dog or setter. Its lineage can be traced back
This is my breed, and they should be racy, balanced and full of quality. The breed standard calls for a handsome, refined dog with an untiring readiness to range in any condition. This one from the famous Gundog kennel of Diane Ritchie Stewart, who you'll see handling in the ring here.
And that coat needs to be fine and flat, free from curl, lots of feathering, but not to exaggeration.
And really stepping out nicely. The breed judge today, interestingly, was Jackie Lorimer, who won Best in Show at Crufts a few years ago.
I remember very well.
Yes.
I interviewed her. She was fantastic.
There have been 4 Best in Show winners from our Irish setters, so perhaps our 5th, you never know.
Well, it's easy to see why, isn't it? They're
Lovely.
such consummate show dogs.
And this is in glorious condition.
Now we see another point and retrieve breeds from continental Europe, the Italian Spinone.
The distinctive shape of the Italian Spinone. This is a breed which dates back to the 15th century, and you can see paintings of them in the Palace of Mantua, painted by the artist Mantegna. Wonderful working breed, sturdy, square, thick, leathery skin.
Spinone has grown dramatically in popularity.
And the top line in the Italian Spinone is very distinctive. It falls to the 11th vertebra and then rises gently from just behind the withers to over what we call the croup, the rump of the dog. And it lends them a very springy, long, elastic gait. They can go all day long.
I love the description of the head for the Spinone, which is it should have an almost human-like expression, and you can really see that knowing look in their eye.
Beautiful stride there. The one thing with Spinone that you have to check as a negative is they will decorate your walls, ceiling, light fittings, everything with slobber given half the chance.
The breed, it has a lot of substance and has a pounding trot. It lifts its feet just a little bit on the trot, and its head carriage quite high, scenting the air, an all-purpose gun dog. And this one really enjoying the big ring experience here. They're great character dogs. You had some, I believe.
I did. They were my
Jessica.
first breed. Look at the elasticity in that gait.
And there's that lovely expression, the human expression of the Italian Spinone.
Here we have our best of breed Lagotto Romagnolo. The name literally translates as curly-coated duck retriever, and that's what they were used for in their native Italy until the draining of marshes left them used as a truffle hunter, a squarely built, sturdy and robust dog with a dense, curly coat.
Describes this delightful breed as the equivalent of the Irish water.
And I'm very pleased to see this one here. It's come from Croatia. I was judging in Croatia in December, and this was my Best in Show winner. So I'm very pleased to see her here winning Best of Breed at Crufts. Marvellous achievement. And it's a beautiful specimen of the breed.
Just gorgeous, so balanced, small and square. They should have a rustic look about them with that dense, curly coat, but not over-trimmed, not overdone.
They have to remain rustic.
Oh, look at that little dog
Wow.
And we see the distinctive top line, free movement, the head quite strong, shorter in the foreface. I had an interesting experience. They were, after the lakes dried up where there used to be duck retrievers, they trained them to hunt for truffles. When I was in Italy and judging the breed, one of the exhibitors brought a little box of truffles into the ring before I judged the dog.
You.
Yes.
Currying favour.
Cost a fortune,
Fran.
they do.
So, unfortunately, he didn't win, but there you are. You have to judge the dogs, don't you? But this is a beautiful quality Lagotto Romagnolo. Great win here.
Gray was the judge today with an entry of 99.
So this is the large Munsterlander. They were originally registered as German long-haired pointers, but large Munsterlanders were black. And when the German long-haired pointer people decided they didn't want black to be a colour anymore, these were split off into a separate breed, now very much in their own right.
This is a multi-purpose gun dog. It works on land and in water. It should be alert and energetic and a really strong, muscular body with a gently sloping top line.
And they're named for the town of Munster in Germany, where the large Munsterlander was very much developed. Strong, muscular, multi-purpose shooter's dog.
You can see the similarity in shape with the German long-haired pointer, the liver dog we saw earlier. Nice moulding to the head, a black head, sometimes with a white mark on it, one of the features of the breed.
This one, a 5-year-old called Lionel, and he's just down the road in Worcestershire.
The next dog for Pair Edison to judge this evening is the Pointer. They were judged today by specialist Linda Pibbett.
Now here the aristocrat of the Gundog Group, the Pointer, a shape of a curving outline, a thoroughbred from head to toe. This ancient breed coming from the 18th century and where it was hugely popular for its stylish work.
Every inch the bird dog, this one, characterised by that dish face where you want a rise in the nasal bone. It's clearly defined and very important for the breed.
It really is a wonderful example of a breed that's fit for its original function. It can range over large expanses, scent the game, and it will then freeze and point in the direction.
To see a pointer working on the moors when it goes into point, quivering with expectation, the head held high, taking in the game bird scent.
And the lashing tail, very much a characteristic of the breed. We want to see ground covering action here. Of course, these dogs work on the grouse moors. They need to be able to cover prodigious amounts of ground.
The head held high on the move there, and that beasting tail lashing.
Chesapeake Bay Retriever. There was an entry of 84 Chesapeake Bay Retrievers here at Crufts.
Here we come to the first of our retrievers, the Chesapeake Bay. Now, Newfoundlands were crossed with retrievers in Canada to create a water dog that also retrieves. Its distinct colour provided it with camouflage. It should have a thick undercoat and a harsh, oily top coat to protect it in those wet conditions.
In the neighbourhood of St John's, was almost as old as the
Best bit about the description, I think, of the Chesapeake Bay is it is the description, the words used to describe the colour. Grass, straw, bracken, sedge and ash. Beautiful collection of words.
They're camouflage colours for working. And look at this wonderful coat on this dog, this oily, thick coat, a dense undercoat as well to equip it to work in the icy waters of Chesapeake Bay. This is known in America as the heavy-duty work dog of the USA.
They have webbed feet, which helps them when they're swimming, as well as having that coat. And they also have a very distinctive yellow or amber eye.
This is beautiful quality, correct in the bone, the coat and the head, and going beautifully here, full of breed type.
This is a 6.5-year-old bitch called Flax.
Next of the retrievers is the curly-coated retriever. 61 curly coats were here today. The breed judge Carol.
Very much the water retriever and the largest of our retrievers in origin. The curly coat owes that crowning glory to the water spaniel and poodle ancestors behind him. They were mixed with retriever stock to produce a dog highly valued by waterfowlers and able to cope with anything that could be thrown at it.
Tallest and possibly the oldest of all the retriever breeds.
It should have a wedge-shaped head with a rather small eye, the chest deep with oval ribs, plenty of lung room, and the top line should be strong and level.
And the curly coat, the breed characteristic, like Astrakhan curls. It's thought that the poodle might have had some influence in improving the coat in the curly coats.
First CC here today, so fantastic achievement to be in the best of breed
Another
competition.
young one, that's lovely. Powerful, we need good extension and drive on the move.
And an outstanding characteristic
Keen working dogs.
is the ability to mark
This one a black variety, but they are also available in liver.
especially useful in rough and marshy terrain.
Slightly longer than tall, good and deep chested, plenty of heart and lung room.
1-2.
This one really striding out well there, the curly-coated retriever.
31 flat coats today, with the breed having 2 judges. It was Graham Abbott who took charge.
And here is the flat-coated retriever and one of our judges' favourite breeds. The flat-coat goes back to the 1850s and it was known as the gamekeeper's dog or the wavy-coated retriever. It comes from Labrador blood crossed with setters. It's the raciest of the setters, which means of the retrievers, which means it's a little bit more streamlined, a little more length to the body. This clean, flowing outline.
And the planes of that head are very characteristic of the breed, aren't they? As are the temperament. You never see a flat-coated retriever without a smile on its face
and a wagging
its tail.
Yeah. It should have a long head, moderately broad, deep chest, and it's a really free-flowing mover.
And 2 judges for the flat-coated retrievers today, one who judged the dogs and one for the bitches. This one, a 2-year-old bitch winning best of breed.
There was a very strong entry of 519 golden retrievers here today at Crufts. In fact, the second highest entry in this Gundog Group.
Our second biggest entry today was for the retriever, the golden variety we're seeing here, founded by the first Lord Tweedmouth, who crossed the wavy-coated retriever with the Tweed Water Spaniel. Later additions to the breed included the Irish setter and even the bloodhound. It was recognised as the yellow or golden retriever in 1913.
Extraordinary popularity of this breed, not only in the UK, but all across
If you watch the Southern Golden Retriever display team, you'll know what wonderful temperaments they have and how trainable they are and devoted to their family. Here is a dog who's become a champion at Crufts today. His 3rd challenge certificate won at Crufts, a great achievement.
They should be symmetrical, balanced and powerful, and as Frank said, they're biddable, intelligent dogs with a real natural working ability.
And the kindness in that head and expression,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Well, that's what endears them to people as pets, doesn't it? They're such kindly dogs, but also extends what they can do in terms of work. Of course, we see them as guide dogs, explosives detectors, as assistance dogs. They're amazing creatures.
Their coat should be flat or slightly wavy and in any shade of gold or cream. This one here, a real powerful mover.
Very nice proportions on this dog. He's got a nice length of leg, compact body, and look at that lovely top line and the wagging tail. Lovely quality. What a great achievement to become a champion at Crufts in such a competitive breed.
Yeah, that's a day you'll remember for a while.
Over 550 golden retrievers here today. Amazing.
Labrador retrievers had the highest entry for any breed in Crufts 2020.
Now here is the Labrador Retriever. We were missing it at the beginning of the group because they were obviously still finishing judging and had to race here because it was the biggest entry today. Originating from the Newfoundland and Labrador coast, the breed began life as a fisherman's dog, retrieving nets from freezing waters and hauling carts laden with fish.
The breed was originally introduced to these shores in the
This is a strongly built dog. It should have broad, deep chest and ribs, plenty of lung room, and it's got a really distinctive tail. It should be thick, tapering down, and it's often called an otter tail, isn't it, Frank?
It is, and the coat and tail breed features, and very interesting, this is the 2nd time this dog has won best of breed at Crufts, so that's a great achievement.
He's actually a veteran, isn't he, at 7 years, so counted as a veteran in the show
Come down from
world.
Scotland, and you can see the difference with the dog in the gamekeeper classes, the working Labrador, which was a lighter frame, but this is free from exaggeration. He's got substance without being overdone.
Absolutely, strongly built, but still on the move. A lovely, agile gun dog that looks like it could do a day's work.
This one in wonderful condition. That short, dense coat is weather resistant, and this one is in really good condition. A real gleam on that there.
The Labrador Retriever.
The next dog we see is the last of the retrievers. This is the Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever. There was an entry.
And here's the very smart Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever. That's a long name for a fairly compact dog. He gets his name because duck-tolling describes how the dog works as a decoy. He's hidden on the lakeshore behind screens. The gunmen send him out to attract the ducks.
They're particularly suited for retrieving in
This is a dog that's excellent in water. Its webbed feet allow it to swim, and that coat is water repellent.
I must admit, every time I hear the story about those lovely little white paws, and they also have a white tip on their tail, don't they? Supposedly for
Attracting
working
the
as
ducks,
decoys.
yes.
But I mean, every time I hear that story, I think ducks must be really stupid.
Yes.
Yes, and of course this retriever carries his tail higher than the other retrievers, and it's the activity of the tail which was said to lure the ducks within gun range. So they're a very smart retriever, lovely rich red colour, white markings. The white markings shouldn't go higher than the pastils or feet, so this is very correct, the markings here, and a very smart dog.
They should be springy and jaunty on the move, which we're seeing here. This one very light on its feet.
And he's called River Watcher Atka, very appropriate.
Here we have the first and the most glamorous of our spaniels, the American Cocker Spaniel. These have the same roots as the Cocker, but by the 1920s the breeds have begun to diverge. These have a more domed head, a shorter muzzle and a more profuse coat than the normal Cocker Spaniel we'll see later.
The handler holding the ears out of the way so that the judge can actually get hands on the shoulders and the body of the dog. But it must be very strange for the dog to sort of suddenly disappear in a curtain of hair.
They should be well feathered but not hiding the body line, shouldn't they?
Yes, it's a breed which developed from the Cocker, which was sent to America, and some breeders decided to go along a different route, and the breeds were separated in 1945. They're a sloping top line, shorter in the head, more domed in the skull, and this very profuse coat. This one coming from Denmark to win, Michael Christiansen, a famous breeder from Denmark.
And lovely to see the extension and the drive in that movement, the coat kicking up, really showing off the dog's movement.
A very smart move. He always gets the best out of his dogs.
The smooth, effortless movement of the American Cocker Spaniel there.
From an entry of 68, Dean found her best of breed in this dog, a 760.
The heaviest of the spaniels, this one, the Clumber Spaniel. Slower speeds and stronger frame was said to be very well suited to the thick, tangled undergrowth of the Northamptonshire's Sherwood Forest, where he would scent out and flush game, which could then be shot.
These dogs should be firm and fit, with an appearance that denotes real strength. The head is large and square, broad on top, and they have that distinctive dark amber eye.
It's thought that the original stock for the breed came from France and was a gift to the Duke of Newcastle on the Clumber estate.
It's a powerful dog. We want a deep chest there, nice long rib cage and a long, well-muscled back. This one's showing beautifully how you can be heavier in frame but still be athletic on the move.
And very happy temperament. They get a slight roll in the movement because of their substance and their rather short legs, the Clumber roll.
The coat should be abundant and silky, and it's white with either lemon or orange markings.
Spaniels here today for our two judges, Ian Scott, who judged the males, and Mark Boswell, who judged
The very compact outline of the Blue Roan Cocker Spaniel, and what a picture it makes. This is a breed which gets its name because it was used on woodcock, hence the cocking spaniel, now the Cocker Spaniel.
the largest entry in the Gundog Group today. He originated as the cocking spaniel, derived his name from
They're compact, everything free from exaggeration. We saw the American Cocker with the sloping top line. This has the level top line and the rounded rump and a lovely head and expression
Such
there.
a beautiful, beautiful head. This is a very balanced little dog. And it's the merry cocker, isn't it? Or when you see them on the move, that little tail should always be working away.
Despite their size, they should have real drive on the move, covering the ground, and that tail should be held out level behind them.
This one is a big win in the breed, had a very successful career for the past 2 years.
Still
Culminating
young.
with best of breed here.
Ground covering movement with a good bit of drive there. And those ears framing that gorgeous head. Lovely expression. They have such a melting expression, cockers,
And
don't
wonderful temperaments. They were my first breed when I was a schoolboy.
The Cocker Spaniel there.
Best of breed coming through to the group was this dog number 929.
Here we have best of breed from the English Springer Spaniels. These are the highest on the leg and the raciest built of the former Land Spaniels. This one is a liver and white colour, but they also come in black and white. And they named because of the practice of springing forward to flush out game.
In the year 1900, and official breed status followed 2 years.
They're the highest on the leg of the Land Spaniels, which means they have good length of leg, should have rectangular bodies with good rib cage underneath it, and a wonderfully soft expression.
And that coat is close to the body, straight, weatherproof. There should be moderate feathering, not too much.
And they have a distinctive stride. They should really throw their front legs out in front. This one, not quite happy in the ring, just dropped its tail. Just feeling the atmosphere in this big ring atmosphere.
This is a 3-year-old dog called AD, come from East Yorkshire today, has 11 cc's. Apparently he's a clown, that's how his owner describes him.
Just dropping into that swinging stride now.
That's better, yes. There you could see the lovely free movement in front.
Now we see the Field Spaniel. There's an entry of 74 for Judge.
Here we have the Field Spaniel. Never the most popular, fields have suffered various periods of severe decline in their history, but they have a faithful following thanks to their wonderful temperament and their workmanlike characters. They will get out there and work in Spaniel and Spaniel form just all day long.
This is a noble sporting dog, built for activity and endurance. And this one is 7 years old, so another veteran, just showing how some of these gun dogs are a lot slower maturing but have longevity.
The population of the Field Spaniel after the Second World War was so low, they had to have some new blood from the English Springer Spaniel and the Cocker Spaniel to keep the breed going.
And that head is very distinctive for this breed. It's a long, lean head, long muzzle.
Conveys an impression of high breeding.
The characteristic gait of the Field Spaniel should be slow and dignified. They should never be rushed, and they cover the ground at their own speed with a dignity about them.
The coat is long, flat and glossy, and it should be dense and waterproof.
The Field Spaniel.
Here we see the Irish Water Spaniel, and with an entry of 33 to consider.
Now, the wagging tail of the Irish Water Spaniel, a clown amongst the gun dogs, the largest of the spaniels, but in working trials it works as a retriever because of its size. Developed as a waterfowl retriever and developed in Ireland from the Southern Water Spaniel, a breed which is now extinct.
Great attention in this country when first seen in the show rings.
We see tremendous quality in this breed, despite the fact that they're one of the smallest numerically in the Gundog Group. We've seen group placings and nearly always superb Irish Water Spaniels sent through to the group.
This one winning its first CC here today. Those dense, tight, crisp ringlets with natural oiliness are a real calling card of this breed.
As is that rat tail it's described as, hairless rat tail.
They should be a rich, dark liver with a purplish tint.
And they, as I said, they're very clownish characters and a very strong dog. One of the best books on the breed captures the character in its title, A Bundle of Rags in a Cyclone is the title of the book, and that captures their temperament.
We want free reach and drive in this movement, but we're taking a while to settle into it today.
A little overexcited.
Very typical, yes.
The Irish Water Spaniel there.
Mr. Hastings was the judge of the Sussex Spaniels today, and here we see his best of breed.
Here we have best of breed in the Sussex Spaniels. These dogs were developed to work in dense cover, so they're low to the ground with thick skin and they're powerfully built. They're quite unique among gun dogs as they bark to help their handler keep track of them. And when we see this one move, we'll see that characteristic rolling movement.
With dense and thick undergrowth. He showed successfully.
Such a gentle, kind face the Sussex Spaniel has, with that very particular skull shape.
And this is a breed which has had a checkered history as well, because they fell into unpopularity at one stage. Only a few of them left. Fortunately, the breeders got together and kept the breed going.
Should have a strong level back with a really deep chest, and they come in this rich golden liver colour.
And aficionados say they reckon there's a suspicion of hound blood in their background, isn't there, with the baying
how they work.
they're on scent.
They give tongue when they're working, which is a hound characteristic rather than a gun dog characteristic.
That lively tail is really typical of the breed, isn't it? This one, not rushing, having a wonderful time in the,
it's like
the ring.
a rudder going there,
yes,
isn't it?
It is. That wide head and frowning brows, giving that very typical expression.
And this one won the class last night for the Vulnerable Breeds competition, so he's experienced in the big ring and enjoying it again.
Says here, laid back but also an applause junkie.
Now we have the Welsh Springer Spaniel. Red and white hunting dogs have been recorded in Wales since the Middle Ages and of distinctly Spaniel type since the 18th century. They're regarded as a very ancient and distinct breed of pure origin.
Well, I've had the pleasure of judging these today, and this was my best of breed winner. It's come all the way from Sweden to win. Very typical in its top line in that it has a rise over the loin, which is a significant feature. It comes down and has the influence of the Welsh Spaniel blood, a breed kept in the Neath Valley in South Wales, and this was influential in setting the standard for the breed.
They're compact, aren't they, Welsh Springers? They're designed for endurance and hard work, not too leggy.
Absolutely, they shouldn't be leggy. They should be medium length of leg, medium length of body, and this cleanly chiselled head.
The movement should be smooth, powerful, really covering the ground, and this one we can see really driving from the rear. The Welsh Springer Spaniel.
An entry of 87 Spanish water dogs were here today. And this is the 4th year for the breed to have the championship.
And here's the distinctive outline of the Spanish water dog, this thick, woolly-coated dog. It's very versatile. Not only is it a water dog and a retriever, but it could help fishermen and bring in the nets and pull in boats.
Very much the multi-purpose Gundog, this one, originally of Turkish herders and drovers before being developed in Spain.
This one's very young, only 15 months, so another youngster here making it through to the group today.
In its native Spain, it's used as a sheep herder as well, so a dog for all seasons, as they say.
And that coat's always curled, of a slightly woolly texture, so it forms almost cords if it's allowed to grow long.
Movement is described as brisk, sound and athletic. Again, driving from behind, really important in these gun dogs.
And this one has travelled from Croatia to win best of breed here.
The Spanish water dog.
We travel from Spain to Germany now and see the Weimaraner. Alison Gates was our judge. She had an entry of 120.
Here we have the distinctive colour of the Weimaraner, also known as the Grey Coast. This breed was created in Germany as a hunting dog for nobility. They became better known after the Second World War when they were exported outside their native country. They should be a picture of power, stamina and balance.
Where it was immensely popular. And there's actually a Van Dyke painting.
A hunter pointer retriever, the Weimaraner, so it can use its nose to find game and then point and hold steady until the game is flushed and then go and retrieve after it's been shot. Basically a workman who can do everything the gun needs.
And there's a degree of elegance in them as well as athleticism and substance. There's a gauntness about the head, gives it this nobility of expression.
And a lovely demonstration there of the effortless ground covering movement. Very powerful dogs.
The eyes are another distinctive feature of this breed, aren't they? They're either amber or blue-grey. This one from the famous Gunnalt kennel, almost 3 years old, and it's a bitch.
Now we come to the last of our Gundog breeds. This is the Korthals Griffon.
Now there's the last of our best of breed winners in the Gundog Group for 2020. This is the Korthals Griffon from the imported register classes, founded by Dutchman Edward Korthals from a Wirehaired pointing bitch who was an absolutely brilliant worker.
This thick, weatherproof coat, the judge just testing the texture and the density of it there, protective feature in the breed. It's thought that the Edward Korthals also used some German retriever breeds and pointer breeds to develop this.
And we want a very robust dog here with a natural appearance, not primped and prepared for the show ring. Just a bit of hand stripping.
And the word we want is rustic. It has to look like a rustic, workmanlike dog.
The movement should be ground covering and driving from behind. And when it's standing, it should be slightly longer than it is tall.
Harsh, coarse coat on the top with a fine, dense, weatherproof undercoat underneath.
This one, a 4-year-old dog called Iger.
And it has actually won a Gundog Group in this country last year, the first one ever to do so.
Described by his owner as a totally adorable clown.
So Per Iverson taking a final look at his Gundog Best of Breed winners. Who's going to take the group?
This would be your last opportunity to show your appreciation for the entire group ring.
Just taking one last look before he decides on his shortlist.
Right, a very nice, there's some very good gun dogs here, so he's going to have a
Quality group.
hard job here to get down to the last 8.
Where's he going to go?
I think the Chesapeake Bay Retriever looks very well.
I'm biased, but I think the Irish Setter bitch looks lovely.
Now, let's see. In comes the German Wirehaired Pointer.
Oh, the English Setter there, just taking her time.
The Gordon Setter comes in. The Lagotto, wonderful, yes.
That was an absolutely glorious little Lagotto.
Ah, my Setter's in, the Irish Setter, yay. No bias over here.
The American Cocker is coming forward, and the Cocker Spaniel. And the Welsh Springer comes in. I'm delighted with that. Marvellous.
Oh,
into the
Frank,
last 8.
well done. That's really
Lovely
nice to get
shortlist.
into the final.
But
Congratulating, and the crowd really appreciating all the other Best of Breed winners who are now leaving the ring.
now,
Strong selection here for the shortlist.
two setters, 3 setters, 3 Spaniels, and the Lagotto from the HPR, the Hunt, Point and Retrieve group.
So Judge just going to move them up and down again.
So the first of our shortlisted medalists to be moved.
So here we go, the first to move again, the English Setter.
The judge here will be looking at their movement. We want good, strong hocks to drive the dog forward and a long stride in front, reach and drive, and also holding the top line. The top line held on the move is a sign of good balance and firm condition.
It's really hard to understand, isn't it, how the English Setter could possibly be on the vulnerable breeds list when you look at how beautiful they are. Such gentle creatures to live with.
Here we have the second of our shortlist, the German Wirehaired Pointer. This one a show champion and Dutch champion. Come from Lincolnshire today. It's a 5.5-year-old bitch, and she has won 5 consecutive Best of Breeds here at Crufts.
The balance and drive of that gun dog, absolutely beautiful.
You see these clean stride in front, and here is the Gordon Setter, the heavyweight of the setters, a big winner, bred in Italy by the handler, Ludovica Salomon. She's a vet in northern Italy.
Elegance and power on the move.
Here we have the Best of Breed Irish Setter. A real cheer there for this one. This is a bitch, Gwenda Coconut Cream. She's 6 years old. Shown here by Diane Stewart Ritchie, owned by Deborah Armitage.
Extremely stylish and carrying herself very well.
And of course at this level that's what counts, isn't it? You've got to go that extra notch in the group.
Showmanship, yes.
And here's one which has showmanship as well. This Lagotto bitch is just beautiful.
Orca
from Croatia. Best in Show winner in several countries, so could be about to add UK to the list.
Accurate movements. They have to have good length of leg.
Handled absolutely superbly there, just checking her from leaping off and into a gallop.
Looking wonderful on
But all
Harnessing
the
that energy
enthusiasm.
to give it great ring presence. And here's another one with ring presence. The stylish American cocker, the black and white from Denmark.
Now, apparently this one has won Best in Show All Breeds under a certain Mr. Frank Kane, so you obviously like this one.
That's true. It's a very nice bitch, yes. Lovely, lovely. Going very well.
Nearing the end of the line, there's our lovely Merry Cocker. Puppet, just 2 years old. So balanced. Such a lovely expression on this little one.
And this one dual purpose, so she loves the show ring but also working in the field.
Which is lovely to see.
Compact and merry. The merry cocker earns its epithet by always having its tail wagging freely.
The last of our shortlist now. Here we have the Welsh Springer Spaniel.
Yes.
This one's Zara, 3.5-year-old bitch from Sweden.
Still performing beautifully, Frank. That lovely head carriage, striding out.
It's a long day for these dogs. We've got to remember that. They're still putting in their all even now.
And going really well here. And that very typical outline with the rise over the loin, falling to the tail. That's a breed feature which should be valued. It makes it unique in the Spaniels.
That is a lovely shortlist there.
Now, could the Lagotto make breed history, perhaps in winning the Gundog Group at Crufts?
That's a quality lineup.
It is.
Really nice lineup of dogs.
Tough competition.
Who's it going to be? Ah, it's the Irish setter. I could not be happier for Diane and their owner. That's wonderful. A bitch.
She's running to the wrong end. She's going to
She's gone
place.
fourth, but she's definitely won. She's definitely won.
Oh, the Lagotto, that's wonderful.
Oh, fantastic.
Nearly, but a wonderful win for the breed.
Still relatively uncommon in this country, but what quality there is.
Third is going to the American Cocker Spaniel, another one putting on such a good show today.
And for fourth place, the Gordon Setter in fourth place. Oh!
Oh dear, just had a little trip there, but she's back, she's fine. So here we have the winner of the Gundog Group here at Crufts 2020 is the Irish setter, show champion Gwendolyne Coconut Cream. Handled in the ring by breeder Diane Ritchie-Stewart, owned by Deborah Armitage, and put through today by Jackie Lorimer, who won Best in Show here with Caspian's Intrepid and Danaway Debonair.
Put on a great performance. You know, they should all be good dogs at this level. Then they lift themselves with the performance and ring presence and style. And this had it in buckets, did it not?
She did, and really nice to see a bitch winning through as well. It's often the dogs in setters because they're more upstanding, but this bitch really holding her own.
And I think Handler wins, definitely, hands down, Handler most like dogs in terms of
her hair,
perfect hair colour.
Calling card of Diane's, that is. So I think we're going to hear now from Diane.
The Lagotto Romagnolo 6728. And Marina Stott will now interview our winners.
Thank you, Graham. Ladies and gentlemen, before you go home, let's have a quick word with our Gundog Group winner. Diane, I'm not sure if you're aware, but when you won that, you nearly headed way out of the arena there and right past number one. You were number one spot tonight. Diane, tell us about your dog. Congratulations.
Well, first of all, she's not actually my dog. I bred her. She's owned by my dear friend, Deborah Armitage, who's here today too. And this is her second time getting the CC at Crufts. This time she went one further and got best of breed. And now the group.
Well, winning Best of Breed at Crufts in Irish Setters is a huge achievement, but to take the Gundog Group, this morning when you woke up, did you think this could even happen today?
I have to tell you, I was so shocked whenever I got best of breed. I also bred the dog ticket winner today, and he looks amazing. And quite often, boys are much more glamorous, but she was on fire today.
Well, that's So fabulous to win the double and take the Gundog Group. Diane, many congratulations. We're all behind you here for Best in Show on Sunday night. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen.